I've been to a lot of protests since the start of the pandemic, and what I really like to do about it, and my favorite aspect about it, is hearing what people need and what they want. I see my job as a political commentator, a journalist, and a political activist as providing people tangible solutions to actually get some results and what they want. You know, Australia is in a situation where our people, they don't understand the power that they have. They don't understand how to get the results that they want. But we can make a comeback. We can bring this around. We can turn it around so that they're self-empowered, so that they're educated, and so that they can start demanding from their politicians what they want. Now, in this country, the biggest thing that concerns me, and the biggest thing that concerns a lot of people on this call, is they're coming for the children. As of the 10th of January, they made it available for kids to get the jab from the age of 5 and older. Now, there's a lot of people, including Tanya Davies, as we heard before, where she said, I had the conversation with my child and we've made the decision as a family with my husband, we're not going to be doing the jab. And that's her right. That is absolutely her right, especially as a politician, to actually say, no, this is where I stand. And also other people should have that choice as well. A lot of parents are very anxious. They're very anxious about what their schools are going to do. A lot of people say, Joel, it'll never happen. Well, I'm sorry, guys, we're 2 years into this, and my record is 100% accurate on this. We said that Gladys was going to go, and she's gone. We said that they were going to roll out a vaccine passport, and they did. We told you they were going to start taking people's jobs away, and they have. We have a two-tiered society. My record's clear, and I've done everything in my power to call this out. Now, when it comes to the schools, parents are anxious. Why? And I was trying to think about this the last few weeks. Why are they so anxious? It's because they're worried that this is going to be done without their express permission. It's going to be done behind their back, where their kids are going to be coerced or even tricked into getting a medical procedure that their parents aren't aware of happening. So, and whether that comes through peer pressure, whether that comes through, the school sort of, herding them in and them just going with their peers, or the kid giving permission, and even though they're in no position to give it because they're not old enough, that's what parents are worried about. And so I wanted to give parents some long-term and short-term especially solutions to this. Keep track of your school. I know for the last few decades, the schools have pretty much taken care of the kids, and to an extent that's worked well. But unfortunately, in order to survive in Australia, our earning capacity is really bad. It takes 2 incomes to raise anything more than 1 or 2 kids. And so when it comes to both parents offloading the kids to the schools, that's fine. But unfortunately, we're going to have to start to adopt some of the old ways of raising our kids that actually worked. There are some values that our grandparents used in raising us, which we haven't actually passed on to our own kids, and we haven't used ourselves. So we need to re-engage with our schools. If there's a teacher at school that you have a relationship with, that you're in constant contact with, make sure you're continuing that contact, asking them, when's the jab rollout happening? Let me know when this happens. Tell them, I am putting you on notice to the principal. Send an email to the principal. I'm putting you on notice. If you guys are doing the jab rollout, I do not want my child jabbed without my express permission. Send that 3 times, and you have to tell them, I want you to email back to acknowledge this email, because if anything happens to your child, if they get jabbed and you were not notified, nor did you give your express permission, you must hold these people accountable. You must say, no, that is not on. This is not the country this is not why I'm paying you to how to raise my child. I give express permission. You guys are the ones with the power, and this is the thing. That's something you need to do. You need to keep your ear to the ground, ear to the pavement, and listening to what's going on in your school. In the medium term, you need to start looking for alternatives. There are so many teachers, and to all the teachers that are listening that lost their jobs because of the mandates, and to the teachers that got double jabbed and you're going to lose your job because you're not going to take the booster, this is what you need to do. And this comes back to leadership. You need to start some homeschooling programs. You need to start alternative schooling. What I've done is I've tried to provide alternative media for people. What a lot of the politicians on this particular live stream are doing is they're trying to provide alternative, and they're trying to be freedom candidates for you guys. Similarly, we need alternative schools. We need alternative forms of schooling. If you have the finances to, do homeschooling if you're able to free yourself up in terms of time. But if not, teachers, I need you guys to step up if you've lost your job. Talk to each other. Build a program that we can get behind. We will push it. We will back you. Parents are begging me. They are begging me for a solution on this. I'm just a guy that came from construction and I've started the channel. I can't provide that. I don't know the curriculum. We need solutions for this because parents are starving for something like this. Now, I can direct them to some great tutors that are out there, but ultimately we need a medium to long-term solution for schooling here. We can only keep track of the jab rollout for so long, and there's a lot of parents that are going to pull their kids out the moment that they're too scared of their child getting jabbed in their school without their permission, because that's what's going on. Over 200,000 kids have been jabbed in this country in that age group. We have to, over the age of 5. So we've got to be very careful, keep it in the short term, keep tabs on our school. In the medium term, look for alternatives. And the long term, of course, it's political. You guys know how I like giving tangible solutions for the political. Join a freedom party. What's a freedom party? A freedom party, I have my terms ready for you guys. I'm very exact. I'm not like some of the politicians in the mainstream parties, not the ones that are on here. These ones are excellent. The ones in the mainstream parties that don't tell you anything. They thrive on your lack of knowledge so they can lead you up the garden path and do things to you that are against your interests. A freedom party is a party that is against vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, and lockdowns. They're essentially for freedom and getting government out of your lives. They don't want bigger government. They want smaller government. There are only 8 or 9 freedom parties that cross that bar. That's One Nation, that's Australia One, that's the United Australia Party, the Christian Democrats, the Liberal Democrats, the Federation Party, the Great Australia Party, GAP, and IMOP, and also Drew Pavlov's Democratic Alliance, which is actually a left-wing party. All those 9 parties, you are spoiled for choice. Join one. At least one person in your family should be a member of a political party. If you're there, you can enact change. If you're not happy with that party, go to another party. In some circumstances, you can join multiple parties. What's the point of that? Why do you join a party? So you can express your concerns. It's so that when election day comes, you can volunteer and hand out how to vote cards and help them wherever you can. Maybe you've got skills in video editing. Maybe you've got skills in an area that's going to really help them. That's your role. You need to start taking back your country. This is the problem that we face. In New South Wales, I've only got a couple of minutes left, but in New South Wales, we have 5.4 eligible voters. 5.3 million of them actually vote. Now, the amount of people in New South Wales, as of the last election, that are members of political parties, it's 30,000. And I've said this stat before. That's 0.5%. 0.5% of the eligible voters are in political parties, and they're creating policy, they're picking who runs, they're picking exactly the direction of their parties. That's what you need to do. The time has come to re-engage with your schools, re-engage in your country, and re-engage in your democracy, and take your power back and show some leadership on your family level, on your democracy level, and in your general and wider community. Now's the time. Don't look for anyone else for a savior. It's on you. We will provide you the tools. We will provide you the guidance. But ultimately, know Jesus Christ is coming to save you. Jesus Christ died 2,000 years for your sins.
Joel, with your permission, I'm going to take what you've just said in the 10 minutes. I want to splice that, and I'm going to send that out everywhere. That was such an articulate, powerful, practical way to help us through this thing. Joel, where can people find you? I know you're a great guy. You're a great Christian man. Where do we find you? And I know that you and Mario are out there helping a lot of people. And just so that you all know, I work with Joel and Mario and helping get Bibles out to people. Can you tell, where do we find you? We'll get it up there on the site eventually. But just tell it. I want you to get behind Joel. I want you to get behind his organization. I want Joel to run for Prime Minister. That's what I want.
Ask me again in 2 years. Ask me again in, I'm sorry. Sorry, not 2 years. I take that back. Ask me again in 2 decades. I meant to say decades.
No, forget 2 decades. I'm going to ask you every week until you. How many of you out there agree Joel should run?
People can find me on Turning Point on any of our platforms, Turning Point Australia. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, but you can also find my personal accounts. Look for the eyebrows, Joel Jammal. I'm on also Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. But follow my Telegram. That's the most important place. And guys, please support Pat. Share this live stream while you're still listening. He's got some phenomenal speakers coming up. He almost called me George before, after George Christensen. No. I'm flattered. George is a man, I can get on here and I can talk all I want. George is a man that has taken flack this last week for you. He's in the mainstream parties. He's calling them out. And in fact, he's absolutely thrown everything at them. He's left it all on the field. He's an absolute legend. They're trying to taint him. And you need to support this man. Share this stream. Support Pat Mesiti. He's done an absolutely phenomenal job. Share this video, this little clip as well, so that parents know what they need to do. And let's turn this country around. We're going to take it back, and we've got to reintroduce some common sense and make Australia great again.